What's up, everybody? How's everything going? So I didn't dust it off. I was gonna say I dusted it off, but I technically didn't. So this will be our first stream with our new Sony camera on the secondary here. So let's make sure that is working. Oh no, no memory card. There we go. Okay. So that's all working. Audio levels seem good. I am freaking tired. I got like 8 hours of sleep last night because I actually went to bed early. And still tired, so I'm going to call upon my friend here, Mr. G Fuel, to help me out. Also, if you guys want a snazzy hat or this shirt, actually from us, go to th3dstore.com. And yes, I own that domain now. th3dstore.com. I can be like Linus. And go to our merch section, and we've got all sorts of fun 3D printing shirts, mugs, shirts, mugs, hats, hoodies, all sorts of fun stuff. So, yes, this is the swing line you think it is. The I believe you have my stapler. So, I believe you have my stapler. If they take my stapler, I'll burn the building to the ground. Hope you guys all got that reference. All right, so let's get this into position. Let me make sure that no information is on here. I forgot this one was ordered by Aaron, so it's got his info on here. So let me. Can I get that off here? Well, I'm just gonna open this and not show the flaps, so. All right. Now we can switch over. Let me get my arm mic cam into position. All right. Man, this box is huge. Jesus. What is it? There's an error on here. Oh, it's just yelling at me because I tried to record with no card in here. Well, obviously there's no card. We're just using this for HDMI. For HDMI. Oh no! My video's inverted. Let me fix that. Transform. Rotate. Now we're right side up. Alright. If I loosen that up, there we go. Let's get a nice shot on that box. Look at that. We got autofocus that actually works. Thank God. No more fighting with Logitech cameras that don't have basic functions like autofocus. Let me pull out the live chat here. I just realized my main camera. Alright. Top chat to all chat. There we go. Alright. So, let's see what we got inside here. Got a big bag of stuff here. Lots of stuff. Something about bigger. Bigger. Alright. Now, I have to look up the print volume, but I know this is a large machine. Bigger than a CR10. I want to say it's like 400 by 400 something. That's just a guesstimation based off of the information I know. It's packed pretty well. We'll see if anything came damaged. Usually AnyCubic's pretty good about their machines. So, that's a heavy sucker. Woo! Oh, look at that. We got a full roll of PLA. That's nice. And that's all that's in the box there, buds. Let me see. Oh, that's the zoom. All right, we're zoomed all the way out. All right. So we've got the base here. And the upright. Right here. This is gonna, I almost need like 2 of these tables to wrangle this thing. So I'm just gonna set the filament over here. Let's go over what's in their little accessory package here. Yeah, it is 400 by 400 by 500. Tyler said. I'm assuming Tyler looked that up. I knew it was a large machine. I need like a better ball mount or something on here to wrangle this camera. Let's see. Okay, lock that into position, and there we go. So that should be locked into place. All right. So what has AnyCubic bestowed upon us? Lots of spare parts, it looks like, which is good. All right, so we got a QC pass thing here. Look at that. Do you guys see that? Do you see the autofocus working? That's why we got rid of the Logitech. But, you know, I don't know if people are going to get upset for me talking shit about Logitech because their autofocus doesn't work. All right, let's see. 15% off. Ooh, register as a new member. Get 15% off your first order. Wonder if that actually works. Let's see. Chiron here. Here's a user manual. It's quite thick. We'll go through this in a sec because I'm assuming this is going to have the assembly instructions inside it here. This might just be user instructions. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Installation section. Guys, look at that. Do you see the autofocus working? I'm like enthralled with the fact that the autofocus actually works on this camera. We got a spare hot end here, and it looks like they're using modular connectors on it. I'm not a fan of using these style connectors on heater cartridges or even thermistors. Like, yeah, they're nice to be able to swap quickly, but this is one more point of failure. And depending on what heat rating, how many watts this heater cartridge is, you're going to be really close to a JST limitation. And I'm looking at it, and they're not actual JST branded connectors, so not confidence inspiring, but you know, it'll probably work. But it's my opinion that you shouldn't have those kind of connectors for heater cartridges. You should go with something a little beefier. All right, we got a power cable, which seems to be pretty good quality. What is this? 16 gauge. Okay, that'll do. We'll check the grounding on this. We've got, I like these. These are handy. We got some acupuncture needles to clear out the nozzle. I've got gloves and a little accessory card here. After sale service card. They put this in all their machines here. Just like a little card with some QR codes and whatnot. That's it. Let's see here. Got some gloves. I don't know if I'm gonna need gloves to assemble this, but I'll put these in my spares. I'll put this in my glove section underneath my desk here. Alright, we got some noozles. They actually give you an assortment, and it looks like we've got quite a few here. And look at this, we've got optical zoom. Look at that. All right, so we've got a 0.5, and these look like V6 style. 0.7, 0.4, and what's this guy? Trying to read. Oh wait, here it is. 0.6 and 0.8. So a nice spread of nozzle selections included with this printer, which is nice. So These are V6 style nozzles, so if this is what that machine takes, any of the easy flow V6 style we carry will fit this and our regular ones, our brass and hardened steel. But this is a nice little spread of nozzles included with it. Now this seems to be one of their higher end machines, so it's nice to see that they're adding in extras like here, spare V-slot wheels included. This is nice. These are always good to have on hand. We also carry wheels in our shop if you guys need any. th3dstore.com. I'm going to be saying that a lot because we just bought that. Like literally I just bought that about 20 minutes ago. We got bolts, washers, and some T-nuts in here. I'm assuming these are going to be used for assembly. They might be spares, not sure, but I'm assuming that they're for assembly because we've got 2 T-brackets for the uprights. And what is this? Oh, I heard about this weird little like so this is their bed leveling probe. It's a micro switch. Okay, it's clicking. It's very clicky. That looks like it has a magnet on it. So you put this on there, and we'll go through and try this out. But you put this on, run it through, and the nozzle sits like right here. I would assume it's what I've seen with these kind of designs, and that's how it probes the bed. Yeah, here, auto level device. Hi, dog. Can you not? No! Don't climb in my lap. Don't climb in my lap right now, please. Please don't climb in my lap. Hi. Yes. I love you. You're cute. You're a good girl. Good dog. Okay. Oh my god, this dog is so needy. Let's see. We've got blue China USB cable. Huge scraper. This looks like a filament. Is this a filament roll holder or is this a brace? This might be a brace. Another bracket. And some mounting screws. I'm going to put these brackets and these screws back in here because I'm assuming they go together. And what else? We got our standard selection of tools here. Those are pre-rusted, but okay. Some generic snips and tweezers. And it looks like a flathead screwdriver, a couple wrenches. Your standard fare. And I'm not going to use these, but I'm not even going to bother opening this up all the way. This is just 5 pieces of PLA. I never use these. These go right in the trash. And then we've got an SD card with an SD reader. There's no name on the SD card, just black. Oh, I saw someone asking I saw someone asking a question. I can't remember. Blah 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 blah. Go up, Dual Z. Import taxes. Probably not all metal hot end. I can look at the current one and look at the heat break width, and no, it's too wide on the heat break side here, so it definitely looks like the PTFE is passing through. Let's see. I thought I saw someone asking another. Oh, what camera I'm using inside of the Logitech? I'm using a Sony a6000. It's a micro 4/3 with the actual lens and stuff, with an HDMI capture. So let's get into opening this beast. And removing the packing materials here. Now, this printer was not given to us for review by them. We purchased this on our own because people were asking us about it. So no discounts. I think Aaron might have found it on sale, which is what we usually do if there's a printer that a manufacturer hasn't provided us. We'll keep an eye on it for sale, in terms of it going on sale, and then we'll grab it when it goes on sale. Okay, yeah, so those brackets were the filament holder here. Got a touch screen. All right. So, if we look at the manual here, God, I love having the manual zoom on here. All right, so we're going to put the frame on with 4 M5 by 25 bolts with a spring washer. And then these are the T-plates here, which I assumed were for the upright and was correct on that. Tells you here to remove these zip ties and other wrapping materials. This is good for them to point out. So there's one on the belt here. There's one here, one here. And then we'll go through this. So let's start building this. I'm going to cut all the zip ties. I just got to put like a note as to which zooms in and out. I might also get a wider angle lens for this camera. But this isn't bad for right now. Way better than the Logitech. Alright, so rid of these zip ties here. Nice thick belt on the Y extrusion. Oh, there's tape on here. So it looks like the base is like their AnyCubic Ultra Base type thing. So, and they give you recommended print temps on here. You're not going to print ABS or nylon or, you know, any of these other fancy materials without an enclosure, but since they're advertising it here, let's see if we'll check and see if the bed will actually hit 120C, because they're saying right here it will. So they're saying to clean, keep the Ultra Base clean, IPA or dishwash soap. After a long time usage, 3 to 6 months, it's suggested to use 300 to 600 mesh sandpaper, aka grit, to gently grind the surface before cleaning. And this is interesting. During summer, the suggested temperature for PLA is 50 to 55C, while 60 to 65 during winter. Let's see. The hardness of the Ultra Base is higher than copper nozzle. Please do not rub the nozzle directly against the platform. Interesting. That's good. Those are good little tips to put in here. All right. So let's... So because they have this glass sheet on here, even if the aluminum plate itself is not flat, this sheet should be flat. Okay, I'm not actually touching this. I am right here. But I'll wipe this down before we print. So here, I'll get my grubby hands all over it. I don't know what kind of touchscreen this has. This is my first experience with this machine. So, through the assembly, they want us to put the upright on here. And that would be with these screws here. So, 1, 2, 3. I'm putting the spring washers on. 4. All right, so we got 2 extras, 2 extra bolts, 3 extra washers, a T-nut, and a smaller, looks like an M4 screw. So let's set that over here. Let's move these out of the way. And this is going to be a bit much to wrangle, so I'm going to move this camera yet again. We're going to go with... Oh, this is annoying having to invert it. Okay, transform, rotate 180. Go up a little high here with the arm. And there we go. We'll lock it in like that. So usually what I'll do is I'll put a printer on the side like this, because we've got 2 holes here and there's 2 holes here. So I'm going to make sure to put this on the correct direction. So this is the rear of the printer. Here's the motors, so the motor should go towards the rear. Go ahead, line that up and get the screws in. Once the screw partially in, use my Bond Hus 4mm. No! Well, it's officially a stream. Something got dropped. All right. Now, I'm not tightening these down all the way until I get all four kind of in. Where's my last two bolts? Here they are. All right, let's go ahead and there we go. Much easier. Gotta make sure I'm not pinching any cables here. Screws are going in pretty smooth. I don't know, Yilderico. We have not gotten that far. I do see this giant Chingling. It claims to be 1,000 watt, 41 amps output, but not exactly a brand. It's the same brand Creality and a couple other companies use, and they've had grounding issues. So I can tell you this: a mean well for this will be pretty expensive. They're specking out 1,000 watt, probably for this heated bed. You can see how thick these traces are, so this is gonna be really low resistance. All right. Oh, and there's also a wall wart in here. There's a wall wart here. So I'm wondering if this is just for the printer's bed, and then they're running everything else off this wall wart that's just kind of tucked in here. So we'll go into the electronics later. Make sure I didn't have any zip ties. This all looks nice. We got eccentrics on this side here, and those seem to be pretty well dialed in. I guess you're gonna have to adjust the eccentrics from the other side, but they seem pretty well adjusted from the factory, so that's good. But I don't see any more zip ties holding things together, so I'm gonna go ahead and flip this beast back upright and continue with the assembly guide here. So yeah, those are going to be fun to adjust if they have to get adjusted. Okay, so we put the T-plates on, and then we're going to unscrew 2 screws on the LCD to swing it around forward and then plug them in. And then also connect the Z limit switch wires. So they do have dual Z motors with dual end stops, which means we can use firmware to level the gantry out as long as these end stops are at the same position, which is really nice. It's a nice feature. All right. So I'm going to plug the end stop cable in. They're using optical end stops on these. Guess that's just a preference thing. I don't care either way. I don't have enough information to determine if the opticals are more or less reliable than the what's the word I'm looking for? Than standard switches. Oh, look at that, my nozzle. When this moved, it put my nozzle partially on the plate. Oh well. wonder if our flex system would fit. I don't even know if we would have, if we have 400s in stock right now or not. I don't think we do. I know we're waiting on parts. I just want to point out these little end caps here, like these are cosmetic, but these do give it a more premium feel. Ooh, I just noticed this. They have why? Okay, I'm gonna probably end up taking this off because this is a terrible idea. In my opinion, I'm gonna be saying that a lot, so the internet police don't get butthurt when I give my opinion on something. But I don't know if you guys can see this here, but this is the Y motor, and that is at an angle because of this stepper dampener. And they have a piece of rubber shoved in here. So this is going to cock that. Instead of being flat, it's going to cock the whole belt. I mean, luckily, this is a simple fix. We just unscrew some screws, take the damper out, and take this piece out, and now it's going to sit flat. But that's a really poor decision to do this. And what the hell? Okay. The damper's not even doing anything. This bolt here, going through the bracket, is going through the damper. There's a hole in the damper. And it's going right through into the motor. So you're... Why? Like, it's still connected to the bracket. What the hell? Just take this off. Take this off, take this out, put this on directly on the bracket. I'm going to use this how it came, but this is not how you install a damper, and dampers introduce more issues than they solve. The purpose for putting a damper on is to reduce noise, okay? However, normally if you install this correctly, which they did not do here, and that's a fact, not in my opinion, your motor floats on this rubber piece that connects these two brass parts of the damper, okay, or metal, whatever material this is made out of, okay? And so the motor noise doesn't get transferred into the frame with the damper because it has to go through the rubber first, okay? This does absolutely nothing for the dampening of the sound because they now have a screw right here that's directly then now connected the motor back into here. And this is at an angle. You guys can see how much of an angle this is at. Like, this is just not going to work. So here, like, it'll move, but this angle is gonna wear the belt down. Clara, stop. This is gonna wear the belt down, and why they would put a piece of rubber in between here to intentionally skew the motor is beyond me. It makes no sense at all. Makes no sense at all. This is not how you install a damper, and why are you going to intentionally skew the motor in one direction? Like I said, luckily this is an easy fix, but you know, this is basic stuff that, you know, it shouldn't have to be pointed out that this is incorrect. See? There's that bolt going right through. And you can see it's skewed. And it looks like they did the same thing down here too, on this bolt. Like, this whole bracket is loose. Like, you can see there's a little give from the damper, but I don't know. It's not good to have your shaft like this because your belt is now sitting on an angle on the pulley, which means one side, usually this further side, because this is going to be pulled back more, is going to get worn down. So you end up seeing like wear on your belt on one of these sides because this motor's skewed. So just take this out, take this rubber piece out, and mount the motor directly to this bracket. But you can see it's skewed. All right, let's try this angle here. We're gonna come down a little bit. Let's lock that in. There we go. All right, they do have hot melt on here, which isn't really doing much of anything. As you can see, this wire just pulled right out. Would like to see some JST connectors on here. I'm not a fan of using crimps. Either solder this if you're shipping it pre-connected, or use a JST with wires that are soldered. This is really easy for people to accidentally bump and, you know, fly off, like, or if the bed hits it, but like I barely put any pressure, and you can see here they have this like rubber coating over the little terminal, and the terminals themselves require minimal force to pull this off. So not a huge fan of that. Yes, this will send a signal and work, but it's not the hot glue is not going to stick to these rubber coatings. Now if they had put the hot glue right on top of the metal contacts, it would have held better, but this is like a rubbery slick insulator on these, which is good because then you're not shorting out the end stop to the metal around this. So these are needed, but the hot glue is not going to bond to this. It's just not. All right, what's our next? I see a zip tie here. So I'm going to take that off. That's obviously for the cable chain for shipping. So I like that cute little cable chain. All right, what do they want us to do? They want us to flip the screen around, connect the two cables from the screen. Yeah, from the screen to the control box, it looks like. It's showing these two cables. I think those go to the screen. Not sure, we'll find out. I saw them, but they're all the way over here, and this is a pretty long machine. We're going to install the filament holder. So before I flip this around, since this goes on the rear right here, I'm going to install this, and then we'll go and do the LCD and those connections. I'm going to double check the power here. It says to check the power, so we'll make sure it's on 110. And then that's about it. So pretty quick assembly on this thing. Let me put together the spool holder here. Weren't there other screws, or is that it? Hang on. I thought there were other screws. Ah, they're right here. I was gonna say. These look like the ones for... Yeah, they are. Here. Got two smaller ones to go from the bracket. So this bolts on here. And that... Are these threaded? Which side are threaded? Make sure I get this correct. Ah, bolts onto the side. Okay. This bolts onto the side here. So. Oh wait, no, it's just the pictures look weird. Okay, so this bolts to the extrusion. Okay. Got it. And then this sits like this. Okay. That makes sense. The shading on these pictures are kind of hard to see. All right, so I got my two M3s going in here for the holder. These will probably use a 2.5 Allen key. My opinion is to try it out first. Well, the reality is I'm not going to run this printer long term. I'll run it stock, but I'm going to take that off because having your motor tilted like that is going to damage the belt over time, way quicker than just normal wear and tear. That's not the correct way to do it, and that's just how it is. Like, it shouldn't be done like that. All right, come on, get on there. There we go. These 2.5s. Nope, those are 3s. 3s? Yep. Alright, so these are extras. I put those in the baggie. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna run it stock, but I'm gonna take that off because that's not how you install a stepper damper. And just mechanically speaking, that's not correct. Why would you want to intentionally skew your belt? Because that's what you're doing, having it like that. All right, so if I line this up like this, that'll put my filament in line with this. I do like this spool holder. This is nice because it puts it right into here, right into the filament sensor. I might need to move it over a little, actually. Is this gonna? It might hit. Bump it back a little bit, just so it doesn't hit the X motor. Alright, so that T-nut bit in, that one bit in. Let me put these side brackets on before I forget. Okay, these aren't for the LCD, these are for the hot end. The LCD is actually already connected. These are probably 2.5s. Yep. Come on, let's get in. There we go. Oh, one didn't want to go. Okay. These Z motor mounts are what's the word I'm looking for? They're metal, not plastic like Creality does. I think Creality either used to do printed or metal, but they switched over to plastic at some point in the last year or two. This is a beast of a printer. I will say that. It's a big boy. Luckily, we have room in our print farm. Although I have a feeling this one's going to need probably its own UPS, given what I anticipate the bed pulling, because if they're speccing on a 1,000-watt Chinese power supply, that bed's got to pull some decent current. All right. Help sell replacement belts. I don't know. I don't know. All right. So let's work our way back around to the front here. This just barely, the feet just barely fit on this table here. Just barely. All right. So we got the red plug, and these are keyed and color coded. So no reason you should plug these in wrong, unless you're really trying to break stuff. Power supply voltage, it's over here. And it is set to 230. We're going to move it over to 115. Because we're in America. And then it's said to loosen these two up. Oh, these are T-nuts. Okay, so we just whoop, turn it around. Just sit on the plastic cover. Oh, they want you to put it over here. Got it. Okay. And then we're going to have to take like a 30-second break here. Because the doggo outside. Tucking the extra cable down there. And I think that's it. Move the screen, connect the cables, Z motor and stop wires, filament spool. We flip the switch. Yeah, we're ready to power up. So let me go let doggo outside. And we'll get the filament loaded. I'm going to move all this extra crap out of the way here. I am going to leave the USB cable here and see what's on their SD card. And there's the auto level thingy, whatever you want to call it. Auto level switch. Oh, gonna come in here. All right. So, given that we are all assembled, I'm going to put my tools away. Back into their holders. These Bonhus, shout out to Bonhus. Made in America, US of A. I love these T-handles. Absolutely worth the like 35 bucks I spent on them. Because they have already outlasted 3 times the length of the $9 Harbor Freight ones that stripped out after only about a month. So, certain things you buy at Harbor Freight and certain things you don't. And their T-handle sets are one of those things you don't buy from Harbor Freight. Unless you like replacing them every 30 days. Alright. Now, I have had good experience with AnyCubic's filament, so it's nice to see that they give you a full roll. None of this, like... They give you those samples, but some companies only give you those samples. And that's it. Alright. Alright. Screen's turning on. Actually, let me turn this so you guys can actually see everything. How's that? Yeah, it's an assisted level, but they label it auto level on the bag. Because it looks like there's a port here. I'm assuming this plugs in up here, and then yeah, there's a magnet right here. So this goes like that. Oh, that barely even. I don't know how much I trust that to actually give me a good reading. Like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna use this because here's the thing, it's a neat idea, but the execution's kind of poor. And what I mean by that is, like, why would you want it to be taking readings with something that doesn't even sit flush? Like, I guess they're counting on it hitting the nozzle, but I don't like that at all. Not one bit. That's pretty janky. Really janky. Hey Viking, I'm surprised you're here. I saw you on another stream the other day. Figured you wouldn't be back after that. I guess I was wrong. Alright. Okay, hang on. Let me try. I definitely need to get a wider angle lens on this. So if anybody can recommend a lens for this Sony a6000 that would be wide angle, I am all ears. Not anything too crazy. Just something decent. I know lenses can get very expensive. But, you know, we're making videos in a garage here. We're not doing Hollywood productions. Okay, so if everything's all done... If everything's all done, I think we should be able to see. What does it say to do? Let me see what the Chinese say to do. Okay, it says to do tools, filament in, or filament. Oh, I can't read this with the glare. Oh, this is in. Oh, is it in Chinese or no? Filament in. I can't read this from this angle. Filament in. Okay. It does have cold extrusion prevention on. So you have to manually set it. You'd think they would. Oh, okay, it's heating it up though. That's good. Okay, so it's going to 230. Once it's 230, we can actually load it. Is a screw sticking up higher than the magnet? I did look at that. Not really. Maybe a tiny bit. Let me see if I can put it in more. Let's see. Screw's pretty well in there. Let's see if that made a difference. There's no screw on this magnet. There is one inside here. Now, it's still just as janky. Well, so much for that. Ugh. All right, we're just gonna pretend like that doesn't exist. If anybody has any recommendations on a Y-net, so this is a 16 to 50 millimeter. So if I can find something that's like, I don't know, like a 10 to 50, or even, I wouldn't mind putting a nicer lens on this one. This is the kit lens. All right, we're at 226 now. We go ahead and snip this off. Always, so you see how this is kind of like deformed? Don't use that. Go a little bit into the roll. Cut it at an angle, okay? Angle. So you have a little slant here. It makes feeding into any extruder much easier. Okay, we got a filament sensor. The extruder. Okay. They have the attention set to nothing. Get this. Why is this not going in? I'm gonna have to come. Oh man. Eh. Is there filament in here? Oh. Jesus Christ, why is this so hard to load? Looks like some sort of like Titan knockoff. Like they took the design of the Titan, which is a good design, and then made it worse somehow. Why is this not going in? Let me see. I'm gonna hit filament in and see if it'll self-load. Nope, it's not going in. Just bending the end of the filament. There really should be a piece of PTFE in this arm here. There's a spot for it, but it's not in there. Nope, it's getting hung up inside. Oh, this box is in the way. So, here's what's happening. Okay, I'm going to cut this off so it's got a fresh spot to work with. Okay, through the sensor. I'm gonna straighten it out, okay? And it's loading, so if I put this in, it grabs it. No? Oh, are we going finally? Oh, that was weird. Okay, we're finally coming out the other side. It kept getting hung up. All right. Go ahead and feed it in. That was a pain. This, I mean, there's a lot of play in this arm. Maybe it wasn't lining up with the hole. All right, it's coming out the nozzle now. All right, I was like, do I seriously got to take this apart? That would be a huge pain. All right. Go ahead, stop. Yep. All right. So we got filament loaded in. Now the SD slot on this machine is on this side. Checked correctly. Yep. Okay. Go back. Now it says there's G code. Why do they have the Facebook Messenger logo on here? Level. Wait. Probe or advanced setting. Print. Okay, so should we do the manual or the assisted? What do you guys think? Do we want to see if this thing works or if their little clicky thingy works, or if it's going to be kind of janky? What do you guys want me to do? This thingy or the manual leveling? This just doesn't inspire much confidence when you put it on here and it's got that much play to it. Manual? Okay. Let's see. Hang on. We're going to do a straw pull. I like straw pull. Here. Hang on. Copy. There you go. Vote. While you guys are voting, I'm going to go through here. It's essential to level the platform, so we're going to do manual first. I'm saying if we want to just try the thing. That's what I should have said. Okay, so they're saying to do the manual. I'm going to do this and hit print. Okay, it says printing done. Okay, manually move the print head to the far left side of the... What did the G code do? Okay, printing done. And click OK. Well, I clicked OK. Did not return to the main menu. Let me turn this down because this is blowing this out a little bit too much here. This camera actually does pretty good in... Well, not low. It's not low light, obviously. Okay, so I guess I'm going to have to go back. Doesn't say to do that, but... Okay. Alright, so... Print. Well, it didn't take me back to the home page. Printing done. Okay, let me do... Nope. Setup. Nope. Tools? Home. Okay. Tools, home. Says manually move the printhead to the far left side until touch the X limit switch. Okay. So there we go. Home Z. Okay, so it just leveled out the gantry, which is nice. Okay, if the printer has been printed before leveling, please use tweezers to clean the residue. Okay, well I already got the schmoo off the nozzle. So, to manually level this, they want you to literally manually move it. So, and they give you spots where to manually move it to. So, let's level our bed. Using my Zendesk shortcut sheet. Okay. Come on. Okay. Evan? Oh yeah, that's gonna mark the bed. So I'm pushing down on it as I move. Oh my god, these knobs. Not a fan. Alright, I'm gonna put this one down because I know it's too high. Center's too high still. So let's check the corners again. That one's too high now. That one's good-ish. Come up a little bit. Okay. That one's a little too tight now. Okay, let's check the center. Still too low. No grab. That's a little loose now. That one's good. That one's good. A little too loose. All right, let's check the center again. Still loose. That's good. I mean, that's good. I'll give it a little more. Okay. Fighting here now. Just fiddly. How are we over here now? Okay. Okay. That's a little tight, but just a smidge loose. Okay. It's okay. It could be a little tighter, but I don't think we're going to I don't think we're going to get closer than that. I mean, it's gripping. It's just, it's more tight. So the center is a little bit more dipped. Now, and this is going to change. Here's the thing. The manual, now, I don't know if they're just using the same screens, but they didn't tell you to heat it, but in here it's showing it's heated. On the other screens, there's no showing it's heated. Yeah, it just says keep checking around like we did. Yeah, and like I said, 0.25 millimeter because it's huge. You're correct. I am reading the manual. Point out exactly where it was not followed. Go ahead. I'll wait. I don't know if you know, but I've leveled quite a few beds. Yeah, that 0.25 tolerance is, I mean, it's big. It's not that great though. So hopefully that little clicky switch thing does work. So they want you to do a print test. So on the home menu it says, I'm gonna home all. Let's make sure everything homes correctly. Well, you guys are saying it's followed the directions. Directions do not say here to heat it. The only time we've been told to heat so far during the setup process is the nozzle to load the filament. That's it. Okay, so on the home menu, they want us to go to print and then level test.g code. They do tell you to heat the bed for the assisted auto leveling, but not for the manual. Okay, okay, there it goes. It's finally telling it to print. Okay, it's heating the bed up to 60. What's weird is the bed is heating up quick, which is good. I figured as much given the size of the traces on the bottom here and the big power supply down there. But the status light, I don't know if you guys can see it. You might not be able to see it, but I can see the reflection of the light. It's actually cycling it on and off. Even though it's not a temp, it should just be on all the way until it gets close to the target temperature, and that's it. So it says the print do the level test.g code, then click print to verify the level results. Refer to page 20 and 21 for more details. It may need fine adjustment a few times to achieve the best results. So and they do have examples of what's too close and too high for people that don't know. And you can see right here, they even give you information here. Yeah, and they do have this weird mesh editing thing. Scott from Marlin was telling me they have this mesh editing thing on the LCD screen. So we're just waiting for this bed. They definitely need the PID on this. It looks like they're using PID and not Bang Bang because it's overshooting and undershooting right now. Well, while we're waiting for that to heat up, I'm going to have myself a snack. Is the glass removable? It looks like if you unscrew these little corner clips from the bottom, yes, you can take it off. Yes, Darren, I'm well aware that the beds expand with heat up, but we're following the directions provided by the manufacturer. Yeah, we're at 58. 59. Yeah, if this was PID tuned, we'd be heating the nozzle already. But oh, 59. We hit 60 there for a brief second. There we go. It sorted itself out. So while we're waiting for this to begin the print, what's everybody up to this weekend? Anything exciting going on? Why isn't a 3-point leveling system used by more manufacturers for attaching the bed? It's a good question. It would have got to 60 quicker if they have the firmware tuned better. Well, we're not using stuff from Facebook groups. A new user is not going to go pull a bunch of files down from a Facebook group. They're going to take it out of the box and follow the directions. I'm hearing some weird, like, chirpy noises. Is that the power supply? Oh, that is. So, this little power brick is making noise from the hot end. It's coming from the power brick. I'm assuming this power brick runs everything but the bed, and this big one's just for the bed. We'll see if we can take the glass off. But I'm seeing these 4 things in the corner here. I would assume that this is what is holding it down, unless they have adhesive between it and the glass. Looking decent, maybe a little high, but not bad. Let's see. I'm just feeling the Z stuff. There's no compensation happening, which there shouldn't be. Maybe a smidge too high, but not terrible. They don't have a way to live adjust the Z height though. Why is this? Yeah, it's definitely a little high, but like it didn't extrude right here. I'm not sure if it was supposed to. Let's look at the pictures. Might have. We're just gonna let it go. It's not looking bad. Like I said, overall a little too high, but it's sticking. Sounds like it's probably using Allegro drivers. Can we adjust it? How do we adjust it? Go back. Let's see. Back. Print? Nope. Tools? Axes? Maybe? Oh, can't do that while it's printing. More? Level? Advanced setting? Nope, that's not it. Filament? Oh. I'm not seeing where you can do the live adjust Z. Tools level more. Okay. Tools more level. There's probe and advanced setting. That's it. There's no live adjustment on. There's advanced setting here, which is for the. This is for the grid. I'm not gonna mess with this unless I'm in here. Let's screw it. Plus, negative. Nope. This is not what we're doing. So that might only be accessible when you actually have the when you have this little guy set up, or a probe in general. It's not bad. It's pretty flat. So just use a tiny bit more squish. That's about it. But I'm just gonna let it run its print here. Yeah, what I'm saying is this is manual leveling. If you're using manual, okay, you guys wanna be like, no, it's there. No, it's not. Okay, you said tools, more, level. We have probe, okay, which doesn't do anything, and advanced setting, which is the mesh editor. So please do show me where this is. So I'm assuming that once we get the little clicky probe thing set up, we'll be able to actually use some live adjustment, but for manual only, there's no live adjustment on here. So we're at this step right here. So this would be the assisted auto leveling section, which we have not done. So it's just saying here to verify the leveling results, which are decent. Like I said, overall just a little too high. It'd be nice if in just manual mode, if people don't want to use this thing, they could just adjust it. But while this is going, I'm going to read through the assisted auto level. They're saying to make sure the nozzle is below 60°C. Then we're going to click print on the home menu. Then choose and print the auto leveling.g code to set the machine into assisted auto leveling mode. Click OK after printing done in second and return to home menu. Then go to tools, home, home all, and then install the leveling module as shown below. Okay, so connect the cable, stick it on. And then we'll go to home, tools, more, level, probe. And it says the screen will pop up messages as shown below Ensure the leveling sensor is installed firm and properly before click OK. After click OK, the machine will home all axes and probe 25 spots on the platform indicated by the red spots below. The probe spots may be shifted slightly due to installation differences, but it will not affect the result. After probing, before click OK, remove... That's a mouthful. After probing and before click OK, remove the leveling sensor, otherwise it may be damaged. Okay, got it. I already checked the wheels. The wheels are actually pretty good from the factory on the bottom here. And this one is also good as well, so not touching them. This one's not bad. I didn't check these, but these are not loosey-goosey. They also, unless I missed it, they also do not state to check the eccentric nuts. Going back through the setup guide. Nope. Nope. No mention of adjusting the eccentric nuts whatsoever. At all. Not a single mention. Yeah, no, it looks decent. There's some spots, you guys may not be able to see it, but there's like spots here where like it didn't extrude all the way. And this is more than likely just a G-code where they have the retraction set too high or too fast or too slow. This is a slicer setting, whatever generated this file. But no, not a bad result at all for a quick manual level. So I'm curious to see if this thing, even though it's all floppy when it's on there, actually does work. I tightened down this screw, but maybe there's something underneath it that's loose. No, there's just that. And the screw just goes through there. There's nothing underneath it. I guess I'll put that back in there and tighten it down. Oh, that's fun. Because this is also a magnetized driver. Oh no. Come on, get in there. Get in there. Hopefully I put the magnet back in the same direction. If its pulls are different, we'll find out. If not, if this like throws itself off, I'll flip the magnet around. No, these aren't even extruded. That's not spots or oil. It's not even fully extruded. It's like there. It's like this. That's an extrusion issue, not an adhesion issue. You can see there. Bah! So, do you guys want me to finish this? I think we got a good idea. It's pretty even across the bed. I'm happy with it. The only thing I wish is had adjustment on here, but they're saying once we get people that have this printer in the chat, or I'm assuming they have this, say once we set this up, we'll have a actual baby stepping or live Z adjustment option. How much does this have left? Oh, this is only 4%. Are you kidding me? Yeah, it's just a crappy slice file. That's what I was saying. It looks like a slicer issue. Not a machine or adhesion issue, but whoever sliced this file, they could have tuned their settings a little better. I'm just going to stop this because it looks good. I don't want to waste any more time here. Now, it did say to... Now, I just want to point out here, nowhere in here does it say to have the bed heated for any of the leveling. So I'm going to follow the directions and turn it off. Tools, cooling. Okay, well. Is there a way to just set this to 0? Do you seriously just have to... Okay, there we go. Alright, at least it's got like a hold down thing. touchscreen's a little like, sometimes it responds on the first press, other times it doesn't. Okay, I'm gonna home all. We're gonna clear this off here. Yeah, not bad. Little squish on certain spots. Okay. So it says don't burn yourself. Cool it down, so it's already cooled down. I think all these screenshots just have the bed, like this is just their standard screenshot of the menu here, is just 195 and 70. That's it. All right. So we're gonna print auto leveling test. This is what it said. Hit print. See, like it gave me a confirmation beep, but it didn't actually execute it. Okay, click OK, and now we want to home all. Okay. So back, print. Oh wait, no, back. Tools, home all. Yeah, except it tells you to home all. Can I get that on there? Maybe I can. Can I get that on there? Okay, the magnet is in the right way. All right. And let's go ahead and plug this in. Port. All right. So that's plugged in. Okay, so we followed the directions. Everything's cooled down. Does not tell you to have the bed heated. Okay. Cool down. Click print. We did that. Home all. Connected the port for the signal. Attached it. Okay, return the home menu. Tools, more level, probe, and then it's going to ask me to confirm that it's installed. So, tools, more level, probe. Confirm that's installed. Okay. Okay. Oh, is it moving? No, it's not. All right. Well, that's good to see. That's good. That means that little switch has a low enough force where it's not going to tilt it. That's what I was. Oh, I saw it move a little. Oh, it's moving. Well, let's see. Let's see what happens. Yeah, you can. I'll zoom this in, but you can see the little device, whatever you want to call it, is moving. Oh no! See it moving there? So was the camera upgrade worth it? Okay. So it says remove it. It's kind of difficult considering the last position blocks it, but there we go. Just move the cable chain out of the way. Okay. Click OK and remove the sensor. Okay. All right. Now it wants me to do a test print now. So remove the sensor and we're going to do the level test again. See, I pressed it. You guys saw me press it. It made the beep. Okay, that's 2 presses and it still didn't register. 3. There we go. That's a little weird that it gives a confirmation beep, but it's not actually taking it. It is a resistive touchscreen, so maybe it needs calibration, like the points are off, because I was pressing, well, I don't want to cancel it, but... Well, while we're waiting for that to heat, here, I don't know if it'll bounce around or not, like it did last time. So, here's the end of my optical zoom right here. Then Sony has this like clean zoom, which I can't really see any artifacting. Like this is digital, and we switch to optical. So it's like this seamless zoom. I think it's like their clean zoom or something like that. I have it enabled and I like it. And this is just the kit lens on here right now. It's the Sony A6000. There's a 6100, which is basically the same thing except it does 4K and it's like $300 or $400 more. There's also the 6400, I believe, and the 6500, which are a step up. But if you're doing 1080p, 60 FPS, which is what we're doing here, so this is an A6000 right here, and so is this. It does 1080p 60, and we're outputting over HDMI to a capture card that runs on USB 3. This is running off an Elgato Cam Link, and this one is running off of some random off-brand one because the Cam Links are out of stock everywhere because of the human malware situation. So this is a 16 to 50 lens. So what would I want to do? I used to know camera lenses, but I know I would need a lower number to get a wider shot because I would like to have a slightly wider shot, but still be able to zoom in as far as this. It's best to use gently use Allen keys on it. Yeah, it's resistive. It's like the same kind of touchscreen my Palm Pilot had from like the late 90s, early 90s. Well, whatever. Resistive touchscreens. They're not that great, but they get the job done. They're just not as nice as capacitive that we're all spoiled with our new smartphones. Actually, I'll see if Amazon has this camera on sale still, because this camera is usually like $600, and I got this for $490. Yep, I'm gonna post a link in the description. Hit that affiliate link. Hell yeah, I love this camera. They're still on sale for $498. Let me find the. And you need a micro HDMI to HDMI cable. I believe this is the one I'm using. Ugreen's a brand I bought. I've got a 6-footer on here. There we go. I should just put a link in put links in the description for this kind of stuff. And look up the capture card here. Now, oh, this one's out of stock now too, but there's other ones. I don't know, something like this. The Elgato ones are the way to go, but they're gouged right now. But you want something that'll do 1080 60 because that's what this camera will do. All right, so you guys are also saying that. Oh yeah, we need to adjust that. Okay, it can be, yes. So it says right here it can be adjusted. So you have to have the assisted. So if I go tools for leveling, advanced setting, here we go. Can we? Oh, you gotta like tap it. Actually adjusting the Z, it is. Hey, live adjust. Yeah, this G code sucks. It didn't even start. Now it's extruded. What was that? Did you guys see that? It just like bogged down for a second there. Oh, we're too close now. Man, it's hard to see this white filament on the white lines. Okay, I got some squish on there. Maybe just a little bit down. Okay. So it's looking good over here. Got some squish on there. Let's see if it actually prints everything correctly now. Now the question is, does this save this offset? Because this is technically the Z offset, which is at negative 16.1. Okay, when nozzle is too high, it's 0.05 each click, so each press, and up is 0.5 each click. It says do not do that. I was feeling the Z lead screw, so I could feel when it actually executed that command. It is required to click OK after modification, otherwise the change will be invalid. Okay, so I have to click OK, so I'm assuming that means it's going to save the setting. So I'm going to stop the print and start it again and see if it actually saved that setting. Because according to the guide, it should save that offset now. Alright, there we go. At least that's easy to clean up. Alright, let's see. Is this like the one printer I'm not going to have an ABL probe on? I mean, that would be convenient. Alright, so let's run their test. Print. Level test. It went on the first try there. And we're still heated, so that's good. Everybody's offset's going to be the same, or be different, not the same. Come on. There's some shmoo on the nozzle. Alright. So it definitely saved it. Let's see how the resulting mesh is. Feels pretty does this little clicky thing work? Does their little wobbly click thing work? Click, 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 click. Can you guys hear that? It's a very satisfying click. It's a very cute little tip on here too. Click, click, click. And it's just a little micro switch with a little dome on it. 3 printer guides could not save the setting. He had to put his offset in his code. So this definitely saved it, okay? The question is, if I power cycle it, is it going to save it? Yeah, this is the squish, like this mesh it's given, this little clicky sensor did a decent job. Like, this is all acceptable. It's hard to see the white though on the white markings, but I can feel them and they're pretty uniform. So, good enough for me, to be completely honest. I might not even mess with ABL on this machine, especially if this saves the offset. If this saves the offset, this will be one of the first machines, other than our Prusa, but that does have an ABL probe, that we're just going to use as is, which is nice. Less work, the better. The only drawback to that would be is, okay, because I just thought about this. As you're working on the build platform, like, this is going to flex and shift, and if this gets out, this mesh is now no longer valid. That's the only drawback I can think of. Is you would have to go through, put this back on, and go through the leveling points again. So that would be a benefit of having something like a BL Touch or an Easy ABL on here, is if these vibrate, because these screws will eventually work themselves out, the nuts will vibrate loose, and then you'll have to take a new mesh. That's the only downfall to this, because it's not always on the printer, I could see. But it's nice that this is included. Because as far as I can tell, I want to see how the results over here look. I mean, this is decent. And if I put my finger on the back of the, if I feel the actual Z here, if I feel the Z, I can feel it making compensation adjustments. I can assume that this is running Marlin. Most machines run Marlin. And it looks like it's got their Tri-Gorilla board in there, just from when I peeked through the bottom. It looks like the Tri-Gorilla is in there, which should be a 2560 board. Can I hook it up to the computer on M503? Yeah, but I would assume if I plug USB in, it's going to reset the print. But this is nice. I mean, it's included with the printer. You might as well use it. You know? An automated system is going to be a lot more convenient, but this appears to be working fine. So I can't knock it if it gets the job done. Just because it's not as convenient as like a BL Touch or an Easy ABL doesn't mean that it's garbage. I'm surprised that it actually does work, because as you saw when it was probing, this was like moving slightly, but obviously it was good enough to get a decent mesh on the actual bed. And if it gets a mesh, it gets a mesh. Can't argue with the results. Yeah, whoever slices G-code though, like, their retractions are not good. Yeah, their Tri-Gorilla board, I've worked with their Tri-Gorilla board before. It's a decent board. AnyCubic typically does a good job with their machines. They're one of the higher, I would say, one of the higher end Chinese companies that actually does a lot of QC, a lot of testing on their stuff, and you know, their product documentation is pretty good. Which, when we did the Mega Zero review, that printer went really smooth. So I'm happy with this. This is looking pretty good. I want to see how this looks over here, but this is good. A little higher right here than towards the outside, but acceptable. Like, this will stick a print down. And that's the point of it. You're never going to get, no matter if you're using, you know, this or manual leveling or a BL Touch or an Easy ABL, you're never going to have exactly perfect consistency. The goal is to get your first layer down well enough where it sticks to your build platform. You don't have to worry about it coming up. And this seems to be doing a decent job. You know, like, I can't complain. I'm going to finish my granola bar here because I haven't had anything to eat. You guys ask questions in the chat here while we're waiting for this, because I am going to let this, like, get a decent amount way into this level test just so I can see how well that is. And then we're going to power cycle it and see if that offset stuck. If the offset doesn't stick, then that's kind of annoying. I wonder if the mesh saves too. We'll check all that. And then I'm going to get rid of that stepper dampener and that crooked thing because that's not proper. They are stating here that the the USB to serial is a CP2102, which I haven't heard of. Who makes that? CP2102. Oh, Silicon Labs. Okay. So they're not using like an FTDI or the CH340. Is a power supply still clicking? Yes. There's an audible noise as the hot end's cycling, like on and off, on and off. I hear like a does the touchscreen have an option to enter G-code? I don't think so. Info? That's help? No, it doesn't look like it. Status? Oh, that's just a print status. Am I using the Silva I reviewed? Yes, it's set up over there with my Palette 2 Pro. I haven't even changed the extruder on it yet. I put the PTFE tube in. I did very, well, I shouldn't say minimal modifications, but put the PTFE piece in the actual guide because it was missing, going from the feed gear to the hot end. Put our Easy ABL on there, Easy Flex, and the Easy Board, and that's it. I haven't done too much to it. Just on board swap, I guess, is a big thing, but takes like 30 minutes with our kit. So, and the stock LCD has EXP3 header, so I don't need an adapter. I just hook it up to the EXP3. Yeah, this ain't bad. I have yet to have a printer from AnyCubic let me down. Like, they're the one company I've got machines from that hasn't had major issues. And I feel like I say that every time we pull out one of their machines. I got another one of their machines sitting down there, one of their resin printers. The only thing I want to do test is thermal runaway, but we're going to have to do that when I get underneath, unless I... Okay, so here's going to be the process. This is looking decent, okay? So I'm going to stop this. I'm not a fan of this. This touchscreen is not very responsive. Unless I got a bunk one. I don't know. It makes the click noise. I wonder if there's a calibration setting for the touchscreen. Yeah, that power supply is making a quick, like a... No, not going to have our board is not a universal board, if that wasn't clear already. It's only for a few machines. All right. I'm going to power cycle this and see if it keeps the mesh, okay? So we've stopped the print. I'm shutting it off. Let the fan spin down. I'm going to turn it back on. And we're just going to start another print. Jonathan, yes. What's it called? The power pole is fixed. They were out there until like 10 p.m. last night. They started at like 3 p.m., I want to say. Oh my god. All right. So we do actually have I can't remember the model number of it, but after I was talking with the owner of Big Tree Tech, well, one of the owners, there's like I think 3 of them. They're going to be sending us out a machine to get feedback on, and then we're also going to be doing something else with them. But I'm still in process with that right now, and once we have final details, we will be releasing information on that. So I will say one last thing. I would appreciate if people stop trolling our accounts, because the owners of the company that we had the misunderstanding with, it's all done and over with. It's been resolved. They don't care, and they want to actually work with us on stuff. So if people just decide to troll our channel and comment on things, we're just banning people. So I'm not dealing with it. And if any moderators are in the chat, you guys have already been instructed to go ahead and swing the ban hammer if people are trying to start crap. You're running 22.8s on your Chiron? Yeah, no, because the Tri-Gorilla socket, you can swap the drivers out, which is nice. Especially, the main reason I'd like socketed drivers is for printers that don't come with Trinamics. If they already come with Trinamics, I could care less if they're socketed or not. But if you're going to ship a printer without Trinamics, you should probably have them socketed so we can at least upgrade them. All right, let's see if it's saved its mesh. I would say yes, because it's at about the same height it was. Let me put my finger on the screws here. Yep, mesh compensation is working. So good job. Looks like the software, like I said, I'm not a fan of the screen because it's like doesn't respond all the time, but software wise, it looks like they did a decent job. Good job, AnyCubic. All right. So, like I can see right here, over here and over here looks good. So, let's do some actual testing with safety features, because all this means nothing if they ship something that doesn't have, you know, basic protections on it like thermal runaway. So we're going to test that now. I see some connectors in here, so this should be pretty easy to test, meaning I can just open this up. Where is it? Okay. I can just open this up and let's go. Pull a plug and make it stop heating. I have not heard anything back from Bluer. They just went radio silent after we posted an update and have not replied. I don't know if people have actually been getting their stuff fixed by them or not. I basically haven't heard anything after we posted the final follow-up. All right. Let's see. We have some socketed connectors here. Okay, so I just unplugged the thermist or the heater cartridge, which means they should start dropping in temperature. Let's see if it triggers thermal runaway. Okay, it's dropping 190, 187, 184, 182, 177, 175. Let's see. So luckily with the live stream, we can time how long it takes for it to actually trigger. The stepper drivers have a wide range of power input in terms of DC voltage. Most of them are up to like 30 or 40 or even 50. It depends on the driver. Stepper drivers are weird because they work on amperage and coil resistance. So, but you look at the data sheet for the chip and see what its rated max input is and min input. Okay, we're down to 127. It's still dropping. So usually you want to give it the printer about a minute before you trigger a thermal runaway. So I don't know where we're at in terms of the stream, but we already have the S4 supported. It's already in there. The SS4. You can just flash it like a CR10S and disable the filament sensor if you don't have a filament sensor. But if you have a filament sensor and a Mega 2560, you do not have a CR10S4. You have a CR10S S4 because Creality doesn't know how to name their printers correctly. That isn't in a confusing way. I don't know if you guys want to tell me how long it's been going. I feel like it's been at least a minute. We're already down to 82 on the hot end. 89 or 79, 78. Nothing's tripped on screen yet. I'm going to give it a little more time here. Is a Solval worth it to buy or beginner friendly? I would think so, yes. Oh yeah, the chopper logic? Yeah, you should set that. Doesn't make a huge difference, but it doesn't hurt to have the proper values set. Still hasn't tripped. We're at 64. It's still running the heaters. The bed heater's still going. It should shut the entire machine down. Does this not have thermal protection? Or I'm gonna keep my mouth shut until we've given it a couple minutes to go. We're gonna wait here until this goes because we're at 63. It shut the hot end fan off because it went under the auto fan temperature, but it's still telling it to heat. AnyCubic, did you just let me down? Like this is ANET A8 stuff and Reality regional stuff. That's no, the machine's on fire. If the machine was on fire or smoking, I would be letting you guys know. That's the douche flute. I'm gonna give it a little more time, but it's still running. The bed heater's still maintaining temp. It's kind of disappointing. If this is not gonna trip, this should have tripped by now. Todd, you need to look and read the directions in the firmware. There's specific machine settings. The CR10S has multiple different variations, including the SS4, which is a option in that machine. Do they have the source code? I'm gonna leave this here. I'm gonna go over to my computer here. Yeah, this is not good. Let's see if they have official firmware out. Because here's the thing: if a third party or community member puts out firmware for a printer, that doesn't get the company off the hook. Well, a firmware patch isn't going to help people that got a printer without thermal runaway protection. Try telling them that, oh, well, there was a patch you should have updated when they're dealing with a potential fire. That's not going to fly. So on their site, their official site, 1.3.0 is the latest firmware on their actual product site. So if I switch here to main monitor, so I'm on AnyCubic.com, Chiron. 1.3.0 is what they have. So let me download that. Let me see what we have on our actual machine here. There was an info. Tools, more. Oh, wait. Did it finally? There was no beeps or anything. But it did cut off. That just took a long time. That took a long time to trip. That should be only like a minute. Oop, I did not mean to do that. Okay, we're at 0. Oh, here we go. T0 sensor abnormal. So this does have thermal runaway. It's just set stupid high. Info. Firmware version killed. So it has it. They just have it set really, really high. Too high for my comfort. It should be like a minute. What do we set ours to? I think we set ours to like a minute. Let me double check. Where's my GitHub? GitHub page. What do I have them set to? I want to say the hot end's only at like a minute. Where is it? Scrolling all the machines. 60 seconds. Yeah, I guess better late than never. So it technically does have it. That's just, it's not as aggressive as it should be, in my opinion. Yeah, this is on the latest firmware, 1.3.0. Yeah, okay, let's hook this up to the computer and see what they're running. I set, oh, here's their, I was like, where's the Chinesium cable? These blue USB cables are always so hit and miss. I have some that are old and they work great, and I have some that are just terrible. But we're gonna try it. Assuming the USB port's on this side. Plug into my hub here. There we go. Tyler, thanks for the GitHub link. Let's see here. Main monitor. Chiron 1.3. Okay, so they do have it. Here we go. Configuration.adv. What do they have this set for? 250 seconds. Way too high. Way too high. What is the Marlin default? Okay, Marlin's default is 40. 40 seconds. They have it set to 250. Okay, so they have it set to 625% higher than even the Marlin defaults, and compared to the R releases, 416% higher. That's way too high for my comfort. That's crazy. 600 seconds for the bed. Ugh. I want to say we do 180. GitHub. Because we have this as a configurable value in our option instead of the ADV. It's towards the bottom here. I think it's 180, I want to say. Yeah. So 180 for the bed, 60 for the hot end. I don't like that. Don't like that at all. But they did provide the source code, so that's good. That was going to be my next thing. Let's see how they have the LCD, and so they have a TFT model defined here. Author Jolly Co. It's interesting. Okay, it's defined as a RAMS, which is what that basically is. A tri-grill is basically a ram's board. PID temp. So they're just using the default ones for the hot end, which is fine. The bed, they have this defined. They should have ran an auto tune on their bed. Yeah, that's a decent amount of time for stuff to burn, as you guys just stated. Let's see. I'm assuming it's probably gonna be 21. Is it 21? Nope. 12? Install the driver. It is 28. Okay. Okay. So I did save the probe offset here. So you can see here, MA51. And it does reboot the printer when you connect. So yeah, so this matches what's on the actual firmware site. Except this is 110 RC8. And V13 is their... Are they running Marlin 110 on here? They might be. Look at this. This is a copyright on this 2016. This definitely is an older config. Yeah. Yeah, this is an old version of Marlin. I'm blurry. Hang on. Edit transform. 1920 by 1080. No, that's correct. Alright, so, I mean, I'm not going to be able... Oh, look at... I did not realize S3D you could do a control and scroll. Alright, let's do M503. And see what we have here. Yeah, it's definitely an older version of Marlin, for sure. I just realized that this was blurred out. Or cut out, I should say. Beep, beep, boop, beep, 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 beep. Yeah, so it does have, it's the word I'm looking for. It does have thermal runaway protection. It's just set super high. So you guys know what comes next. It's teardown time. Okay, filament needs to be one of three places, okay? Move my mic over. Okay, in your hand, in the printer, or on the spool. Okay, that's where the end of your filament should always be. Any other place than that, you're going to get tangles. Alright, so I'm going to start with taking a look inside the LCD. I want to see what's inside this LCD housing. Where's my 2.5? Here it is. YouTube has been throttling people's bandwidth and lowering it down. So you probably have to set manually to 1080p. I'm going to reconnect the hot end and put this back together real quick, though. These are just generic... Oh, you can actually unscrew the bracket that has the magnet. Actually unscrews with 2 bolts. So I'm going to leave that disassembled so I can show you guys. But I want to see what's in here for the LCD. I'm curious to know what they used. Whether it's a custom jobby or if it's an off-the-shelf. It's a custom job. It's got a USB port on it. Down in here. So we got a pen tablet IC right in the center here. Haven't heard of that brand. This is probably some little ARM chip. Here's the beeper. Here's our LCD cable. We got reset, 5-volt, ground, and then PX and RX. So this is just sending serial data over. And then we have a USB port in here, which is what I would assume is for updating the firmware actually on this chip here. And this is probably some sort of EEPROM. So nothing too exciting in here, to be completely honest. Yeah, it's some sort of like little EEPROM chip on there. Yeah, there we go, pen tablet. So there you go. There's a bam. All right, so let's go ahead and put that back together. Nothing too exciting in there. Tears and sadness are what's inside. I wonder if they open up the source code for the screen. Because I could definitely make some improvements to that if they had all the code posted. You almost don't need the microscope anymore. No, the microscope has its place. All right. Put that back on. There we go. All right. Now, since this is such a giant machine, we're just going to flip this up and then go in from the bottom here. Pull the bed up a little bit. Woo. There we go. All right. Yeah, you can see this is a very low resistance bed. Look how thick these traces are here. You can see this motor mount is tilted. All right. Get in here. Look at that. Look at that shot. Look at that. Oh, they don't have the source code for the screen, so I'll play with it a little bit more before I decide to get rid of it, because I'm pretty sure this board has LCD headers, which means we could put a normal screen on here. People love the touchscreens because they look pretty, but there's a lot of interesting stuff in here. So, oh, I just hit my elbow on the leg. Ooh, that hurt. Trying not to swear. Holy. Ow. That hurt. That hurt. Okay. All right, so I like this cooling fan. This looks like the same kind of power brick. This is a 24-volt power brick here that is powering. I was right. So it is powering the what's the word I'm looking for? The board. So you've got your hot end here. Is that all they're feeding the hot end through? Wait. Okay. So here's the hot end cable. Okay. Here's the hot end. This little one's for the fan. They're using the second MOSFET output as a fan. They got decent FETs on here. The 1403s from Huiyi or Huiyi. I can never pronounce them. But these are branded chips that we use on our board. They're really good. They're a Chinese company, but they make good FETs. I don't know what this one is, but that's a I think 20263. Two big filter caps. We got a servo header here. A couple of data line connectors. I'm assuming these are going to be for the LCD. So here's LCD output. I mean, we're going to take this apart. Look at this big old bed. So this PSU is literally just for the bed. And that one, they forgot to put this down. But two, to get more power from the terminals, they actually have a little jumper here. Why not run two wires? I'm just checking to see how tight these are. Decent. And they got the AC piggybacked on here. So this power brick only has a 2-wire connection, so the only ground is going from here to here. Let's test that. Let's get my trusty Klein out. Are a lot of people getting rid of the touchscreen? Because there's some people online that are complaining about us doing touchscreen kits to remove touchscreens to go back to the traditional ones. And they're like, dude, it's a downgrade. It's like, no, not really. Like, if you know how to use your printer, you can get a lot more done with the 128 style. All right, so let's check our resistance here. Let me just... There we go. Oh, no. Come on. Stay up. That's not going to work. All right. So let me just get my... So there we go. Oh, you guys can't even see that because of the angle. Damn it. There's like no good place. Okay. Well, I'll just read off. You can get the gist. So, all right. Well, let's check between this and the chassis. Oh, that's good. I like it. Let's check between the pin. Oh, AnyCubic. You know the way to my heart. That's on the screw. Let's check the chassis itself. Ooh, AnyCubic. AnyCubic. Ooh. You know how to get me all excited. Proper grounding. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. I like. All right. So the question is, okay, this is going to the bed. They've got a thermistor connection going to the bed on this. Okay, this is for the SD slot. This little thing here complicates getting rid of the LCD. Okay, so unless, hang on, let me pull this off. Let's see, let me get rid of this. So this is for the SD card. Bye-bye. goes to the little hub here. So this cable goes over here. Oh, there's more. So I need to take this fan off here. This is pretty cramped in here. Like some weird breakout. There we go. Okay, so this plugs onto the LCD header, the end stops, and these headers here. This is the bed thermistor. What the hell? So here's EXP1, EXP2, so you absolutely could put a regular screen on here, but they're actually pushing serial data over here and the SD, which the SD would be coming off of here, but they have, where the hell this lines up. I need to get this fan shroud out of the way. How the hell did they mount this on? Part of... Oh, it's on the... It's mounted from the top. I was like, how did they screw these in? Okay, this is on one bracket. Okay. There's two screws up top here. Alright, so this one's always on. Let's go in there. What does this aux do? This is going to end stops. It looks like. If I follow this, this goes over here. Yeah, one end stop, end stop. Okay. So this is the Y end stop and the X end stop. Or Y end stop and one of the Z end stops, I should say. Where's that? I was gonna say, where's the board? So okay, so this is the thermistor right here. Question is, how does this seat on here? So when this plugs in, this is covering all the signal pins for the end stop. And going on to this little header here for the thermistors. Okay, so the thermistors, the hot end thermistor and end stop connections. Oh, look at this. This one isn't even plugged in all the way. This is. They hot melted it, but it wasn't all the way. But I guess it was making contact because we didn't have any failures on that. So this would need to be adapted to go on here. So here's our two. So if I plug this in, we've got the hot end of the bed here. That's why the bed thermistor goes to this board. This is the SD slot. So if we put a different screen in, this would be gone here. And then I'm assuming over this then, so this is the serial data connection for the touch. That would be gone. This is going to have end stop connections, 5-volt ground, and the thermistor for the hot end. So could easily, without even doing an adapter board, just do some DuPonts here. If we figure out the wiring order of this, do some DuPonts here, go from here to these headers and just document all that. And this, okay, so these two here, these are 5-volt and ground. Oh, I forgot, I have Zoom. Whoa. Okay. So, zoomed in a little too far. All right. So this connector here goes to the daughter board over here that goes up to the hot end and the gantry. So on this here, we're going to have your hot end thermistor, a bunch of end stop connections, maybe even some fan connections. I'd have to probe all this out. These two pins connect to 5-volt, and then these are signals. So we've got 6 end stop connections, which are just I/O pins going here. And then these 4 here are for the hot end and the bed thermistors. So if we pull this off, this could get unplugged and then plugged into whatever T0, T1 would be, okay? And then if we use some DuPont wires here to go to the thermistor connection, and then whatever end stops are wired to what, and then the 5-volt ground, that adapter is now gone, and we can use these two headers to connect an LCD. So that's, yeah. That's about it. What's interesting here, I don't know if you guys noticed this. Instead of using one big MOSFET, they're actually using two MOSFETs in what I would assume is parallel. It looks like there's parallel. You see the traces on the board here? This perforated thing here, right here, going between the first pins and the second pins, okay? It looks like these are wired in parallel, so this can handle a lot of load. So this thing's probably carrying a decent amount of current, considering that this 1,000-watt power supply is only for the bed. The thing is, you could run. There's definitely enough headroom to run the bed and the board off here, but it's nice to see that they threw a separate PSU in. They're just, both of these are just not any name brand. They're the ones at Chang'e, or not Chang'e, sorry, Changling, which is the brand Creality uses, which obviously not a huge fan of them. But again, they do put power out. So we get in there. There you guys go. You can see Changling P1000W. Going to assume that means it's 1,000-watt. It's a thick boy. But that's the electronics. All in all, good terminations on the connectors. One would think that if this 1,000-watt was really needed, these would be thicker connectors here, or thicker wires here, because these are maybe 14 gauge. They're not 12, so they're either 14 or 16. Probably 14. But yeah, I mean, this works. All in all, as the printer comes, it works, and the features work as advertised. So good job. That's not going to stop me from modifying it, though. Don't know if we'll do anything official in an official capacity for the touchscreens, but might do something for myself. And then if we do, well, either way, I'll publish my findings. I'm going to get the pin out for this cable here, figure out what does what, probe it all out, and then do some little male to female DuPonts to get from here to there. Make it super easy. I could make my own adapter boards, but I don't feel like doing that. I feel like just doing some DuPont jumpers would suffice in this situation. So, but you can see here they have the dual Z control, so they're utilizing the E1 for the second Z motor for the gantry leveling, which is nice. So, all in all, no real complaints here, aside from the touchscreen just not responding a lot of the time. I'm curious to know what. Let's see. What does Mino? Let me check Mauser out. I don't know what we'll be able to do with that touchscreen, considering that's a custom jobby. Why can't we just use the same touchscreen on these machines instead of everybody doing their own closed source thing? It's so irritating. Let me see here. Power. I'm going on Mauser. What would a 1,000-watt Meanwhile cost? I'm assuming it's a couple $100. Oh god, it's power supplies. Yeah, you could definitely swap the drivers on this. They're standard step sticks. All right, let's see. Meanwhile, and we want to do output power. If they spec'd out 1,000, let's stick with 1,000. I mean, well, yeah. Oh, fuck. Oh, there's the first swear in the stream. Oh, oof. Oof. That's a lot. Is it 24? Yeah, it is. It's 24. Output 24 volts DC. Apply filters. So we got two. That's $157 per unit. 147 at high volumes. And look at those screw terminals. Definitely not a drop in. Yeah, this is like one of those. I think these are ones where they have multiple PSUs in one, so that's not so. Oof, oof. That's an expensive boy, but meanwhile, I don't know if that would even fit in there. I might have to trust the Chinese one that comes with this. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna actually do a power draw test and see how much power it's actually pulling from that PSU, because they could have just gone huge on it just to allow overhead, because obviously, like, usually Chinese power supplies are not gonna put out what they say they do. So, but if they left enough overhead, it might be okay. So this is 278 millimeters long. That's a big PSU. Oh, and there's no switch on these for the power on these mean wells. Set by a jumper here. So you see this block here, TB, there's 1 and 2. So if it's shorted, it's set for 110. If it's open, so if there's no jumper between 1 and 2, it's for 220. If there's a jumper, it's for 110. And you got your line, neutral, and ground. Let's see how much overhead. Let's see how much overhead AnyCubic left for the power supply. Let's see how much their bed actually draws. So let me hook this all back up. I'm just gonna take this off for now. Oh. Down there. Good power out now. All right. I take the leads off here, and here's the one going out to the bed. Set that to DC. Let me zero that out. And I'm going to tell the bed to heat. So preheat. Come on. I hate this touchscreen. Okay, so they gave it plenty of headroom. Why the bed's pulsing when it's not even at temp, I don't know. Their firmware's weird. But it's pulling, come on, 23 amps at 24 volts. and this power supply is rated for 41. So they did overspec the PSU. So that makes me a little more comfortable knowing that they're only pulling about 22 amps out of this PSU that's got the rating from the Chinese company that says 41. But you can see here, like, this isn't heated at temp yet, but it should be keeping it on. It should just be on right now until it gets close to the target temp. I hear this guy clicking too. So you could run the printer board off of the main PSU without an issue. If this is only pulling 22, this is rated for 41, amps from the Chinese company. It should be able to handle like 30, 35 maybe. Let me put that in ohms law. So if we're at 22 amps at 24 volts, that's 528 watts roughly. Which means that bed's about a 1 ohm resistance bed. 1.09 technically. I wonder why they have it cycling. If you guys see here, look at the LED on the bed. It's cycling the power on and off even before it hits temp. Now it's probably pretty close to temp at this point. It's just weird. It could just be the PID is that far off, which they're using 120 volt bed PID value. I'm just curious to see. So if we know that bed's pulling like 528 watts, if we got like a 600 watt mean well, or even a little bit higher than that, I wonder what the cost would be on that. Let me see. One output. I'm just drilling this down here. Cool. I know we want at least 600 watts. So if I go up to that, 24 volts DC, what do we get here? What does Meanwhile have? I'm willing to bet we'll find a Meanwhile that's the same kind of dimensions as this one. Let's see. They're still expensive. Here's a SE24. Yeah, so there's not too many options here. SE24, what's the data sheet on this? These aren't too bad. Just for the unit, no tariffs or what's the word I'm looking for, or shipping, but that's my meter yelling at me. So I'm just looking for stuff that might, what are the mounting holes on here? See, these have the power input on the rear, the output, or on one power inputs on one side, the outputs on the other. Inputs on one side, outputs on the other, is what I meant to say. So it doesn't look like there's going to be a drop in replacement for what's the word I'm looking for this, because all the Meanwells that are in this high power range, all the terminals are on opposite sides. So you got the power input on one side and the output on the other. I'm not seeing, does the SE? No, I think the SE also has them on the opposite side. I think that was the data sheet I was just looking at. Yeah. So you got your AC terminals by the fan and then the DC outputs on the other side. What's this one? 750. It's a weird package type. I don't think that's going to work. What kind of package is this? It's like a DIN rail type thing. Chassis type mounting, yeah. Well, No. What is TB1, TB2? TB2. Okay, TB2, TB3. Okay, so this is still the opposite size. You might as well just go with the other ones that are a lot cheaper. Like, that one I'd probably throw in there and see how it did. What is this, 25 amps? Pretty close. But there was this one, the HRP 624. This one's rated 624 or 648 watts, 27 amps load. And like I said, if we're pulling 22, I always just do the calculator. So 24 at 22 amps, you're at 528 watts of load. Then obviously once the bed heats, as like right now, if I switch back over, it's not going to be full blast. So you can see it just kind of flickering to keep the temp. If they had a better PID tune, it would heat quicker. But I don't think we're going to carry PSUs for this, but an SE 624, according to the loads here, should work. The HRP 624 has got a little more headroom, but that one's like 135 cost. SE 624 is almost 85. And don't know if they'll bolt up, but I guess I'll cross that bridge. Like, I guess it'll be one of the few machines I keep the stock PSU in, because there's not a direct Meanwell equivalent to replace it. So, but we're dropping down on my current meter here. I'm only seeing spikes up to like 10 when it's in PID regulation mode here. So seeing like 10, it's at like 2, 3, 4. So getting warm. Nope. Not getting warm. I do hear this is making a click. This is like making an audible chirping noise, and I think there's a guy who I'm friends with on Facebook. I think his name's Derek. I think it's Derek. It's gonna drive me nuts now. But his power brick went out on his. But if this went out on me, I'd probably just run a wire from here down to this guy and then just call it a day, because this is rated at 41. We're pulling like 22. So your hot end, your motors and everything, you're talking like 2-3 amps, maybe 4-5 tops. I don't think that would be a problem. I think they did it to mitigate any sort of power drop or dips from the heated bed, kicking on and off, which is good. Meanwhile, does make little brick style ones like this. They're in a metal casing, so, and they usually have bare wire leads. They're like little LED style driver ones. So there are options. This one's just not. This one just doesn't have a lot of compatibility with existing Meanwell units out here. So yeah, the power supply. I don't have a load tester that can go up as high as this. My load tester is 400 watts max. So 40 amps or 400 watts is where it maxes out. And I think the input voltage max is like, what is it? Yeah, so I can go up to 150 volts, 40 amps, 400 watts total load. So I can't exceed a 400 watt total load. I only have up to a 400 watt total load output to do on that. So, but I don't smell anything coming off of the power supply. Like on the Ender 5 Plus, as soon as we started heating up, you could smell the coils heating up. So, oh, you're the one that I was just talking about, the power supply going out. Well, imagine that. But yeah, I'm assuming that's the one you were talking about, because you told, when I said, "Oh, that doesn't look like a Meanwell," you're like, "Oh, it was a brick." So I'm assuming that's what you were talking about. But Meanwell does make little 24 volt 24 volt bricks like that. They're usually like aluminum cased. So it's not going to hurt to have two separate power supplies like that. But this guy, because this is like their own form factor with all the stuff on here, will make it difficult. I mean, if one of the mean whales can bolt up into this relative space, all you would have to do is extend the AC lines down to that and then put a cover over it. That's the only thing. All in all, I like it. I like this machine. Everything worked out of the box, even the little clicky thing. I don't have any complaints. That's about it. I don't know what that is, but we're just gonna hide you because I don't. Yeah. Anyways, that's about it. Does anybody have any other questions? All in all, unless I have issues with it, which I will contact them if I do and let you guys know if I do have any failures, but the noise of that brick does worry me, because something's, usually when you hear noises coming from PSU, something's like arcing, or it could just be coil noise too. Not confidence inspiring, but let's put it to a vote. I know everybody, like some people, like the touchscreen works. I don't like that I have to press it like 4 or 5 times. Derek, do you have the issue where it like doesn't register your touch? It beeps, but it doesn't actually do anything? Like, do you have that same problem? I thought it wasn't because I was pressing in the exact spot, but I was pressing right on the button to preheat, and it took like 3 times to actually get it to actually kick the preheat off. Yeah, this is nice that they include this. Like I said, this is less convenient than something like a BL Touch or the Easy ABL, but this is included with the printer, so it's better than nothing. So, can't crap on it because it did work. You know what I mean? It's not convenient, but it works. So, and it's included free. They're not charging you extra for it. So, it does make a nice clicky sound. I love... Can you guys hear that? Ooh. My filter's probably cutting off. But it makes a nice clicky sound. Oh, and you know what? I'm going to bet one of those... what's the word I'm looking for? One of those I/O pins that go to that breakout board is for this. So that's one less thing that would need to get connected. Yeah, I thought I saw this somewhere. Thanks for mentioning that, Jimmy. I've seen this before on a printer, and I couldn't remember where. The console. The console. Yours is definitely not the responsive. Yeah, it doesn't make any clicking noises. Yeah, it does. There is a benefit to this, is that it's testing below the nozzle, so there's no offsets. So, but the downside is it's a manual, put it on, run the probe. You can't just tell your printer, hey, give me a new mesh. You have to go there, plug this in, plug that in. But again, it's included, so. I was going to say I'm probably not going to put an ABL probe on here, but let's just be honest, I probably am. Oh, the screen. Well, the screen is just it's a knob. There's no touch. That's the whole point. All in all, not bad. It saved the mesh. It saved the offset, so that works correctly. Firmware wise, aside from the thermal protection being insanely high, I don't have complaints there. It is old, but it works. So old but works. It's a wash. That's about it. So I don't know. I'll play with screwing around with different screen things. I know someone said that other people were changing the screens and stuff. So I'll look and see if there's existing mounts on Thingiverse. But I'll get all those lines probed out so I can at least document, like take a picture, like here's what these pins do on this harness, and here's where you would connect them with my firmware. So I don't know if we'll officially like put a product in the site, but I'll at least do a little write-up on our knowledge, or sorry, I keep calling it knowledge base. I got to reprogram myself. It's the help center. Oh, yeah, I see people made like little Chiron. I don't see anything. Let me switch here. I don't see anything for like a 128 style. But this is nice. Put it on the front. I like that. Maybe I can intercept the G code and see what exactly commands are being sent from this. And then see if I can just put new firmware out. I saw this. I clicked on this because I saw this here. So here's a 119. I'll have to look and see what other people did. Let me see. Is there, let's see, Chiron LCD Marlin 2.0. Let's see if there's anything here. Oh, that doesn't count. It's just G code. So it's just going to be G code going to and from. Oh, let's see. Here's some. Are these pull requests? These are pull requests. Ooh, from Myron with full oh, this is. Okay, so someone else was not a fan. We'll see what's in that package here. Yeah, so they just ditched the touch. That's good to know that the bed holds, because that would be my only concern with a manually attached probe is how often are you going to have to put it back on and take a new reading. The springs seem decent. I guess you could put some Loctite on. Once you get it locked in, just put some Loctite on there and keep them where they're supposed to be. I'm just poking through what other stuff is already out there. That's just like, unfortunately, okay, well. Does Marlin, let's just go right to Marlin here and see if well, here's the thing, if you have, even with their, yeah, I hear you. Let me shut that up. Where is my probe? Oh, it's right here. If you're using their little touch thing, you could just solid mount the bed. You then wouldn't have the option to then go through and go to a, what's the word I'm looking for? You wouldn't have the option of manual level then, obviously. Yeah, I just have i3. Let's see. Chiron's not mentioned, the config. AnyCubic's not mentioned. So I would assume that it's not going to. I'm assuming Marlin doesn't have anything in here yet for this particular LCD. But if it's like any of the others, it's probably just sending serial data to the CPU. Yeah. I don't see anything in here. D-Wins. I know they have some D-Wins. It's not FTDI. Yeah, so there's no official support for the touchscreen, and I'm going to assume that this one here. Let's see what they did. Define Chiron LCD. So let's see what Is there, that's the only definition. Let me just download this and go through, and then I can understand how that LCD works by looking at the source code, if this works with their touchscreen. Yeah, they're not gonna have anything uncommented. Because they're defining their own type LCD. So let's see, because this guy obviously understands how the touchscreen works. So let me go look at where, let's look for all mentions of Chiron LCD in this config file here. So he actually added in, and I'm assuming the Chiron firmware, stock firmware, has something. So there's all these options here. These are normal Marlin files. So there's two files that are not stock Marlin files: Chiron LCD.h and Chiron LCD CPP, which we can see right here. So let's take a look at what's in these files here. Music.h. So there's, I'm assuming this is for the do like little. Oh yeah, look at that. So this tells you how to make beeps and boops. There's more notes here. Chiron LCD. Here's that H file. And I would also assume that the Tri-Gorilla pins, where pins Tri-Gorilla Chiron. Okay, so here's the SD. Here's some of the SD pins here, the beeper pin. So whether the beeper pin is a dedicated pin, unless that's what the reset is for. It's got pins, ramps, Chiron here. Does he have Chiron LCD defined in here? Nope. It's in here. So it's using the power loss recovery that Marlin has. In this one anyways. So we got two serials. We got the USB serial and the LCD, so they're on separate serial ports. So I'm wondering if you looked at their original, where's the original Chiron? Here we go. Let's look at theirs. Do they have a Chiron LCD? They probably just put it into another file if they don't have a separate Chiron LCD file. I would have to look into their actual source code more. Because they've got, I saw a Chiron TFT here. Or a defined TFT model. So if we do the same thing and download this source code, it's going to make a note there. We extract this. And if we do a control F, and I search yeah, so they just tacked it on to, so AnyCubic just tacked it on to the file. So it looks like this guy went through and broke out all the Chiron commands for the LCD and all the different type of, oh god, that opened a lot. Yeah, I'm not even gonna get into this. This is actually pretty integrated. Except this other one, this 119, if this does work. The question is, do they have an LCD update? Donald, I'm not sure. You can ping our... Actually, let me see here. Let me move this over. Do they have an LCD update? I don't see an LCD update. Let me see what's coming in here. Hang on, I was actually just replying to some questions on our products here. Yeah, so there's their G code. Let's look at what their G code. What does their G code do? I'm pretty sure these are custom commands. M1001, I don't ever recall that being a Marlin command. So if M1000 sent, it puts the board in manual, or it puts the firmware in manual leveling mode. M1001 seems to turn on auto level. So that's all these G code commands are doing. Let me see. Oh, I actually have a spreadsheet here for discount codes. Yeah, but no, all in all, like I said, not bad. I'm impressed with it, aside from the thermal runaway protection time. That's way too high for my comfort. Hang on, discount? I'm searching our internal database right now for stuff. Discount codes. I do have one. I have one through the 31st of this month. I'm gonna type this out if I can type. 531.20. There you go. So, I mean, there's not much more to say. I like it. I'm curious to see what is this guy's... Oh, this is not in English. Oh, there we go. So he posted this, and obviously he's going to be connecting the LCD to that header where that adapter board is, but provides no information on that. So it looks like no one's done what I'm talking about doing, so I guess it's up to me to figure all that out and share it with you nerds. I think I can do that. I don't know though if I'm gonna mess with this stock one. I don't, like I said, in general, I'm not a fan of these screens, but I am gonna look at that code from 119. The only problem is gonna be is porting it to 2.0, because I'm working on getting everything moved over to 2.0 and how to organize our base code for 2.0 and then breaking out for code for like the King Room, the Easy Board, the Creality machines, you know, the AnyCubic machines, TiVo, that kind of stuff. But it's going to take a lot of work to integrate this touchscreen into 2.0. That's the problem with the closed source stuff, is it's going to take a while. It's like they just got the D-Win supported to a point in Marlin. I do like this front mount. This is nice. I do like this instead of it being on the side. That's a neat mount. You know, and it's kind of like for me personally, it's like, okay, I could spend a week and get the LCD, you know, working to a point, or I can spend, you know, a day or two and get the normal LCDs working, and you know, that's the whole thing, and get more functionality, because there's no firmware that I can tell unless if someone finds firmware for the LCD for this Chiron, send it to me and I'll take a look at it. But as far as I can tell, there's no Chiron LCD firmware. Let's see. There's nothing on their site. This guy's just updating his firmware. Let's see what he did. So if he put, okay, here's a wiring diagram. Well, this is for, oh, look at it. Here we go. Here's the hub cable pin out. That's at the hub end, though. Oh, that's it. Okay. That's not even these. There's a lot of spelling errors. I'm gonna verify these connections myself. Are these the same at both ends? Yes. It looks like the cable's the same, but I'm gonna double check. Like I said here, so hot end thermistor, 5-volt common ground, filament run out, right end stop. So these are the Z's, except the wait. The Z on this one, oh, Z plus, that's probably for the probe. Is it? No, X plus is to... On mine, the right end, or on mine, the left Z end stop goes right to the board. It's not going through the hub. Because I've got, yeah. So I've got 2 motor cables and 2 wires. Those are going to the D pins up top here. So this is not correct. This is why I don't like relying on information from random community sources, because this isn't right according to the machine I have, unless AnyCubic did a major change. Anybody who in chat has a Chiron that can take a look at theirs, because I'll switch over and show you guys what I'm talking about. So either this information that this guy posted is wrong, because so we've got 2 cables here. Okay, we got these 2, and they go right here. Okay, so these 2 cables right here. Let me turn my ring light back on. Okay, so these 2 cables right here. I'm gonna unplug or turn this off. Okay, these 2 wrap around, go into this harness. Okay, and then we got 2 motor cables. Okay, these go down here. Okay, the one with 2 goes to our Y end stop, and then it comes over here, and we've got one with 3 that goes to this Z end stop, and then the motor cable. So, but on his diagram, he's saying that the left and right Z end stops go over this hub, but that's not the case on my machine here. The one on this side goes right to... Yeah, these are going right here. So these end stops are going right here. This one, the one on the right side, is going into the hub board here. So here's the right Z end stop. This goes into the hub board. But then we got 2 motors. We've got a fan. We got 2 fans. Can't read. There's hot snot on it. Nope, that's a fan. 1 fan. Where's this going? Okay, this is for the MOSFET for the bed. We got 2 fan headers. Oh, look at, they changed it. Those sons of bitches. So you guys need to check to see where your stuff goes. Look at this. So it's not that he's wrong, it's that AnyCubic changed it. So right here, I was like, mine goes right to the board. His apparently does not. Okay. Then Okay, so if we look here, so here's E0, which is our extruder. This is going to the X motor. Yep. So this is going to X. But you can see here ZR, okay? ZR has nothing in it because the ZR is going right here. There's a 3-pin right here. This goes to my, actually that goes to my left, so that doesn't even make any sense. So this goes to my left. And the left is, what? How does this make any sense? This doesn't make any sense. So this is labeled, okay, this is labeled ZL, okay, but this is going to the right Z. And the right Z has nothing going into it. What? I'm going to need other people who have this printer to give me some feedback on this because I only have this machine. I do have a second one from a customer of ours, which I'm going to reach out to since we've opened this up and actually get, oh, this is, look at this. Ooh, it's like a loose tooth. Ooh. Are these actually genuine Allegros? What are these? Oh, these are 49. Oh yeah, 4988 ET. Okay, there's a little Allegro logo. There's like the, I think it's the HR 4988. Those are 4988 knockoffs. Evo used them on some of their boards. They were not great. So this doesn't make any sense. So the, yeah, here we go. So if I pull on this, okay, so I'm pulling on this wire here. Out so you guys can see. Oh, zoom out. Okay, so I'm pulling on the right end stop, okay? So the one, if you're looking at the printer from the front, is on the right. And this goes to ZL. The one on the left, if you're looking from the front of the printer, goes right to D42 on this aux header. And then the Y end stop goes to D43 on the aux header. Why? I have no idea. I don't know why they did that. But there is a ZR header, so I'm assuming at one point these went here. No idea why they changed. Oh, this is funny. This is labeled i3 Mega SD socket. So they must have reused this from the i3 Mega. It's been a while since I looked at the i3 Mega. Still have ours. It's been a while since I've been in there. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, the MOSFET for the heated bed, they've got 2 MOSFETs. I can only assume these are hooked in parallel. They look like they're in parallel to handle more of a load. Hi, dog. If you guys have a Chiron, take some pictures of the inside of yours and check how yours are wired and email it to streams@th3dstudio.com. streams@th3dstudio.com. Because I want to kind of get feedback. Dog, go lay down. I want to know how your guys are wired. Like, does your left the end stop go to your board, or is it going over to here? Because obviously that's going to be something, if I do put any sort of official firmware, I guess maybe this will just be a printer that's like, hey, it's kind of supported. Your mileage may vary, but I want to get as much detailed information as I can. I do have another Chiron in the box, and I would open it up and check now, but there's a lot of stuff here. So I think what I'm going to do is button this back up, I'm gonna probe all this stuff out myself. I don't like relying on people. The last time I relied on someone from like a community post to provide me with information. I ended up with a couple $100 worth of bed plates that were useless because they didn't check basic measurements. All right, I'm gonna switch over to this guy's video here and see what his looks like. So he actually goes in. So his little breakout board looks slightly different than mine. It's close enough. Does mine have a rounded corner? It does. Okay, so I guess it's similar. Okay, because he's swapping his board. So his breakout board looks like ours. So I want to see how does he have. Okay, so he had some hot snot here, so I'm wondering if I go back. Okay, his are going there. So it's mapped to that, but it's just not used. So if you saw, he pulled 2 cables out. Okay, so this may not be a big deal. I think maybe they just put that on the breakout board and decide not to use it. Unless, here's a thought. I wonder if that breakout board was used on the i3 Mega. And they just reused the same board for this printer as they did on the Mega. So he's probably got a bracket. Oh, how are you? Wait, did you put a bracket in there, or is he just... Hang on. Hang on. Did he just... I guess the hole spacing's similar? Hang on. Did he just put electrical tape and then... Okay, so he's putting the power in for the board and the hot end, and okay, all other basic connections. Yup. We got electrical tape and just send it. Don't do that, because eventually these can push through and you're gonna short out. That's a terrible idea. Like, question is, how is he using the TFT? He probably, no, hang on. Those are all the basic connections. That's easy to do. There's a heated bed. I guess he's not using the TF, is he? Where is he hooking the TFT to? Is it a direct connect onto the board right there? Or what? I have this video slowed down. I think that's it. So where is he? There's no... Missed it. Okay, there's the hub wiring. Okay, that's the hub. I guess that's it. Okay. But don't do what that guy did, where you just put a piece of electrical tape on the chassis and screw the board. The bottoms, like, look at, okay, bottoms of the boards, they're pokey. Okay, this will penetrate through some electrical tape. Okay, you can't just do that. I am going to play with this more. So I've got this. I put the LCSC chip on here and then cleaned it all up. Looks out pretty. So me playing with this a little more. I thought I had a 1.3 here if anybody wants it. Anybody want a 1.3? because I'm not going to use it. There we go. So this is the one that had the, this one was, right here was DOA, but I've replaced it with the ones from LCSC. So I'm not going to do anything with this one. I'm going to play with the 1.4 Pro, but I'm not going to do anything with this one. And I did notice on the 1.3, the 1.4 Pro, they completely changed the 5-volt regulator on the 1.4 versus the 1.3, and it's a lot more stable. So anyways, I think that'll wrap it up. Don't do what that guy did where he put the tape on there. That's not going to prevent it from shorting out over the long term. That's going to wear through because you're screwing the board down and it's putting pressure on it. Eventually that pressure is going to go right through the tape, and then you're going to hit the chassis and you're going to have sparks. So not a good idea. But I think that's about it. Let me see here. I got to make sure I have the stream end set here. You want it, Tyler? You can have it. I'll ping you. I'll ping you later. So anyways, I'm gonna wrap this up. All in all, nice machine as always. Like I don't think I've had a single machine from AnyCubic where I've been like, this is terrible. They do a pretty good job and it's consistent. Like I have multiple of their resin printers. I've got their Mega Zero, the i3 Mega. I think the i3 Mega X is the big one. That's in a box there. They actually sent that to me. It's like an Amazon return. I don't know what state it's in. And now I got the Chiron. So all in all, it's good to see that they're using, you know, the Changling power supply, but the bed's only drawing 22 amps, and it's the sticker says it'll put off 41. So the fact that they were smart enough to put that headroom in is really good. I like that. I like that a lot. Makes me much more confident in running that power supply because it also has a good ground, and the fact that they're not pushing it, you know, up to its limit. Like they were smart about it. Okay, they're like, we know these aren't as reliable as like Meanwells and stuff, so we know we're going to pull about 22 amps. So let's get something that, you know, will have enough headroom in it. So we're not pushing these power supplies that are these off-brand ones, you know, to their max limits. So good job. Good job, AnyCubic. I like it. But anyways, does anybody have any other questions? Oh yeah, you guys are talking about our wash and cure station? Love it. I love it. It's what's actually got me to use my printers now for the resin type. We have 2 wash and cure stations and I think 6 AnyCubic resin printers. We might have 1 frozen. I don't know. Aaron got a deal on a bunch of them, so we have like 6 resin printers now. Oh, I am gonna take them out. I am gonna take that. I'm gonna take that damper off because I don't like that it's cockeyed, and there's really no reason for it. I don't like that. So there's my one gripe on the printer is the way they have the Y motor mounted with that damper and the screw going through it, and then it's cockeyed. I'm not a fan of that, but that's an easy fix. So all things considered, pretty minor. I'm going to go try to open up our pool. So let's sign off here, and I'm going to go try open our pool, and hopefully we don't have a leak in the liner, so that'll be fun, because our water level's been slowly going down, and I don't know why, so that could be fun. So anyways, everybody, thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed the stream. If we do anything with this printer in terms of software, mods, etc., we'll post about it. So you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I think those are those are like the 3 social medias. We have Facebook group, forums. Yeah, so make sure you check it out. I appreciate everybody stopping by. I think we hit like 120 viewers at our peak at some point today. So anyways, everybody, I appreciate you stopping by. I hope you enjoyed the stream. And as always, happy printing. Bye-bye now. Have a good weekend.